Hello, and happy Sunday. I hope you're having a beautiful day and a beautiful start to your 2025. If you guys have not yet listened to my podcast episode from last week, please do. It was with me and my sister. It was so much fun. I wish that my girlie was here again this week because you know what? Podcasting by myself is fun. I'm always finding something to yap about, okay? But when I have a co-host, there's nothing better than chatting with someone and having a little bit of dialogue. Makes you second guess a little bit about like what you're saying and maybe be challenged in person or like, oh, you have a good point, or like natural waves of conversation can go. It's just, I love conversation, right? But you know what? I'm here to converse with you today. I have literally 9 million hydro jugs around my house. I have 2 alone right here. There's like 1 in my bed, 1 by Evie's bassinet, 2 in the kitchen. Like, I think I'm just filling them up and then forgetting them all around the house. Like, mom brain is in full effect with my hydro jugs. We also have the brand new Watermelon Wave that just relaunched. I'm sure by the time this goes live, it's not available on the website. You can find these in stores. Last week, we actually talked about this specifically. I was like, we have something coming. I can't say it yet, but I will say, and I kind of shared my annoyance with no new flavors. No new NU flavors. So Watermelon Wave is back. It's rebranded. It's a little bit different in taste, but it's the same bitch, and I don't run a business like in energy drinks. I am not the business. I've only been able to see it evolve. I'm not sure of the reasoning of re-releasing. The only thing that I can kind of come up with as like someone who, I analyze things is ever since Watermelon Wave, ever since Berry Pop, ever since, what else do we rebrand? Hawaiian Shaved Ice. Ever since, Winter Wonderland, I guess, was technically new, but we have seen a lot of flavors revamped and relaunched because they've grown. So someone who is new to Alani, you might only know the core flavors like cherry slush, Hawaiian Shaved Ice, whatever. This gives Watermelon Wave a moment again. Okay, so that's the only reason I can think of why they're rebranding. Why develop new flavors when your old flavors haven't got the recognition they deserve? Maybe. Okay, fair? However, as someone who's been with Alani since the beginning, and I'm sure like a lot of you guys here, it's kind of like, okay, bitch, I've seen this play before. Let's keep it moving. Okay. So regardless, it's good. Definitely watermelon-y. I am not a huge watermelon person. I do like it, and I genuinely would drink a whole can. Like, it's not as off-putting as I thought it would be, but Hawaiian Shaved Ice is still just like my everything. It's the perfect balance and blend of like sweet, bitter, not bitter, but like kind of like, ooh, however, not too bad. I don't know. It's so refreshing. And I think Hawaiian Shaved Ice has a special place in my heart because when it relaunched this summer, I was pregnant, or maybe I was newly postpartum. Regardless, it reminds me of summer. It reminds me of having birth. It reminds me of Evie. And it's a good flavor. So anyways, that's my little rant on Alani right now. I'll be anxious to see what the year holds for them. I'm hoping new vibes, new energy, new drinks. I would love to see a new flavor. Maybe. I don't know. Do I? I don't know. There's only so many flavors of energy drinks you want though, until it becomes like overwhelming. I'm not sure. You guys will have to let me know what you think. What is new in my neck of the woods? Well, absolutely not much. Okay. New Year Busy Me launched last week. If you have not yet purchased it, here's still your chance to do it. 3-day program. You can also join the membership at any time, and it's still available. So the only thing that really goes away after this week, for now, is the ability to purchase it like separately. Like if you just, I want to buy it today. That's not available, but it's always going to be in the membership. So if you ever join the membership on any given day of any given year, it's going to live in that membership. So that's kind of it. 3 days a week working out. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm having these days postpartum where it's like, okay, like I feel like my body's responding and then like I don't. And it's really odd because this postpartum, like I do not look anywhere close to where I was when I was postpartum with Maddox or Archie at this exact time. And part of me looks naturally like looks back and I feel a little bit defeated. Like, wow, like I haven't, like, I don't look as strong. I mean, holy shit, guys. I had like a 6-pack 6 months postpartum with Maddox and with Archie. And this time around, it's like, I look great. But like, there's just still a lot of loose skin, a lot of excess fat. I just am still carrying, you know, for my body type, remind you. And so it's just been interesting to see, you know, what my postpartum journey continues to evolve and look like. But like, also I look back every month, you know, as 4 weeks go by and I'm like, damn, I look way different than I did a month ago. And I look way different than I did. So things are happening. It's just interestingly slower. And also it's funny because again, mentally my postpartum journeys usually, this sounds so like vain, but they usually stop around 6 months. Like I'm usually pretty fucking on point at 6 months. And so it's interesting to be 6 months now, continuing to move on, knowing, okay, the best is still on the other side, when in past experiences, I've kind of already reached that best, so to speak. Okay. But also I think of myself right now, I'm like, okay, I'm six months postpartum. When I got pregnant with Evie, I probably felt my best yet, like ever. I was 16 months postpartum, right? So I think of myself right now, I'm like, okay, Des, imagine where you could be in 10 months. That's a lot of time, 10 months. And so that's something I'm just like clinging to. I'm like, okay, like that's this year, right? That's by the end of this year. Where am I going to be by, I guess it'd be really like Halloween kind of, right? Around October. Was fit girl fall bitch, you know, where am I going to be? Also not going to be pregnant. I'll tell you that much. So it's been evolution. That's what's new in my neighborhood, is just kind of the continuous like ups and downs of postpartum. We did also bring on a new coach for DBFT. I'll give you guys the tea on that. Very excited. Her name's Bella. She's a fellow mom. She's postnatal. She's super sweet. She actually has a lot of really great she has a lot of really great background in training in person, which being in person is so valuable because you can tell the difference between a trainer who is trained in person and who is not, by the way that they develop workouts. Like you'll look at some of the workouts put together for like, as me, a person who is trained in person, taught group fitness, etc. I'll look at certain workouts. I'm like, holy fuck. Like no one ever ran through this at a gym. Like they don't understand the flow of a gym, you know, possible traffic, equipment, you know, where things usually are located in gyms, stuff like that. So very excited to have Bella on. I can't wait to introduce her to you guys officially, but she's great. She's so sweet. We've been in contact for, I mean, probably over a year and a half now. And this was kind of just, you know, looming, hoping it would maybe happen, and it did. So very excited. We have now myself, my assistant coaches, Bella and Emily. We're all 3 moms. And I feel like we're just so aligned. And I think that's the most beautiful thing that you can ever have, is alignment and growth opportunities in terms of, you know, all living in the same path. And that's kind of where I'm at in the beginning of the year. So exciting. Few different exciting announcement for you guys. So cool. Before I forget to, as we kind of dive into this episode, you know, it is now Sunday, but as I'm speaking about this, we are seeing these horrendous fires in LA. And I am not as well versed in exactly what's happening. I stay up with my news on Real News, No Bullshit, but the minute I get scrolling through Facebook and stuff, guys, I have seen so much sad shit lately. Like I don't even want to trigger any of you guys here. Like I don't want your anxiety spiraling. I have to remove myself. Like TikTok is toxic for me. Fucking Facebook is toxic for me. Instagram is genuinely the only place where I feel like it's filtered, where I don't see stuff like that. And only place I feel like honestly mentally safe and like sane. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, it's where I'm at right now. So that's kind of the vibes there. Now, in terms of the fires, I you know, again, I can't speak as deeply, but I will say I did donate to the LA Fire Department, and I also bought some meals for firefighters. They were doing this out of like, I think it was called like Le Great Outdoors on Instagram. I tagged them and stuff. You know, whether you can help financially or not, sending strength, sending prayers, sending vibes, whatever you believe in, like just, and if you are personally affected in LA, even not like your house isn't burning down, but like you're inhaling the smokes, like the fumes, all these things, there's so much ongoing chaos outside of just the fires alone. And I felt so sad for all of these people who, you know, can't get evacuated, are unable to, the people that are like also like in jail. Like if you're incarcerated and you're like and it's like fire. Like, what the fuck do they do to you? Like, genuinely, I've never really thought of this. I saw this movie on Netflix the other week called like La Palma, and it was about a tsunami that comes into an island, and some of the people were being left in jail, you know, like, right? They're like, we gotta go. And they never let them go. Like, do you? I don't know. Like, I don't know. If you guys have the information there, let me know. I'm curious. All these people that are being affected, celebrities losing their homes as well. And here's the caveat for me. Like, people are like, oh, fuck the celebrities. Like, fuck that. You know, who gives a fuck? They still have resources. We don't. They can jump on their helicopters and leave. Listen, you are absolutely fucking correct. Like, that sucks. If you think about someone being able to just like waltz out to their helicopter pad and like evacuate versus someone who is a normal mundane citizen who maybe doesn't even have a car, the highways are jammed, you know, how the fuck are you getting out? All these things. Believe me, I hear you. However, in my opinion, I don't think we can also like just totally negate their feelings and what they're leaving behind. Like, a lot of celebrities lost their homes. Granted, again, I get it. They have the money to rebuild, whatever, but it's still, to me, it comes down to the humanity. We are all humans. It is still something to mourn. You are losing, like, when I think of losing all the memories of my children, like their clothing, photos, all these things that, you know, could be just brought into flames, that aches me. And these people, no matter, again, who you are, no matter your financial status, it is so terrible. And it's very fucking sad. And especially too, I think of like the businesses, so many businesses, whether big or small, manufacturing places, like a lot of what makes some of the world run, you know, some of these businesses thrive, like, are under flames, and it's very sad. So anyways, I just had to share that. Strength, hugs, blessings to those people, anyone involved, affected, being a part of it. Firefighters, I know some people won't hear this, but just know I appreciate y'all so much. Yeah, what a great start to 2025. We got Teslas blowing up, terrorist attacks, and fucking fires. Now, I don't remember how we started last year, like 2024, but I feel like I remember big things happening at the beginning of the year too, and it was just like, what the fuck? Like, what are we supposed to do? So I don't know. It's all about what you choose to see. And I know I am working so hard to actively choose to see positive things. Doesn't mean that I can't like mourn sadness, keep up with that, but also like, you know, at some point we have to also focus on like our current life, and I can't be there. That's not a part of my world, but I can still send my respects and my love. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, eyes down on my family, what I need to do in my now, you know, I can find gratitude in what I'm able to do. So few big things this week. I guess we got the Buff Bunny collection launch. I am wearing the Colorado Zip fleece. And then the Posh Knit legging. They have like this V scrunch in the back, guys. I don't know how I feel about this. It's giving ass crack. Like, do you guys remember, this is 2 years ago now, Skims came out with that like ass crack dress. I literally bought it and I did like a TikTok with showing Wyatt it, and it went viral. It was fucking funny, but regardless, why are we like doing that? I don't know. Like, Gymshark did it first, I think, kind of around Gymshark. And then, you know, it's a trend. So like a lot of companies are picking up, which is fine, but I just don't know if I get behind this. Like, number one, I just don't have the body for it right now. It's not flattering for me. I'm not vibing with it. Hit me up in 10 months, as I'm talking about, when I look fucking sexy, like TBD, you know. But for right now, I'm not feeling my best self in it. That's for sure. And then it kind of like causes, so because of the V, right, it's like hitting the waist and dipping down. It's causing like the front of the legging to like roll more. And I don't like that. At least specifically when I'm sitting or bending over, I found that. So just be wary of that. All right. However, again, props for any company who like tries the new trends, like go the fuck off. So we have the new Buff Bunny coming out. As always, you can use code DESB for 10% off. This is a high on my list buy whenever it comes out. Like the Colorado, I love this jacket. I love the length of it. It's very modest and it's very covering, which I enjoy. And it's also very warm. 10 out of 10. We have a new Petula launch coming too. I don't think I can give you guys details yet based off the date, but I will tell you, like Petula, I'm such a Petula stan. Like, if I could be exclusive with a brand, it would be Petula. Luckily, I don't have to be exclusive. I'd prefer not to be because I like to try on clothes for you guys. I like to review them. I like to tell you what not to buy, you know, stuff like that. So I would never tie down to a brand unless honestly they were paying me like plenty of money to cover the commission I make on other brands. Like that's just me being transparent. Like if they're like, hey, we'll cover the approximate commission you make on like all of your codes, I'd be like, okay, we'll talk, because I love Petula and I believe in them that much. But it would be stupid for me to throw away like codes of other brands that you guys like and support me with for like just one. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Because again, guess what? I'm here to keep it 100% with you guys. And that's why I don't tie down to any brand of clothing. So with that, Petula is just, you know, up here crushing it. I can't wait for you guys to see the new launch. It's so cute. It's so fun. And it's also very on trend, which I don't know how the fuck these companies get ahead of the trends, but I don't know if I can talk about this right now. Okay, I will anyway, because I don't care. Right now, what we're seeing trending is this like après ski. So that means like, I think it means after skiing, which is very common. It's so funny. Just a couple of weeks ago, Wyatt and I were talking about après skiing, and like how they call it après something. And like, that's when you go get like your drinks or whatever. Anyways, all of a sudden we speak it into the universe. All of these companies are launching this like après blank. So like Vitality just had a launch of like base layers, and they called it like après skiing, I think too, or whatever. And anyway, just kind of foreshadowing Petula, like après ski, like après resort. Like, I'm just like, how do these companies know like what is coming? Because a lot of them do like similar things. Again, doesn't mean they're copying each other. I think it's so funny when people say that, like, oh, they copied that brand. If they're releasing around the same time, bitch, this has been in the works for like a year, 6 months to a year, even more. I promise you they're not copying shit. They're following the trends. They have a way to do that. They have forecasters, stuff like that. It's very hard to say, oh, they copied, unless it comes out, like call it a full year afterwards. Just with the way production works and stuff like that. It's very hard. So anyways, excited for that. DESB for 10% off, which is so cool too. It only used to be 5. I'm very happy I can say 10. That is kind of what's new over there. Hydro Jug. Oh shit. Hydro Jug has the brand new checkered Hydro Jugs coming out. I have like the gingham, I think it's called the gingham, behind me, and then the checkers from Aubrey Bromlow's launch. So we're having brand new checkers come out. They're like neon. They have like a cobalt, a pink, a green, and a blue, a blue, a pink, a green, and a purple, So badass. Like, thank you, God. I don't know. Checkers are so like, they came in like what, maybe last year really like started to pop back off again. Checkers is like just not going out of style for me. I feel like it's so good. It's so amazing and it's so fun. And so, yeah, you have the brand new Hydro Jug. It's for their birthday. They're turning 8, which is crazy because I've been with them for like 6 or 7 years. And so to see where they're at now, like, it's so cool. Even just from a small business to now where they're at now, like they literally started out of their garage as brothers, their garage, okay, with these plastic flimsy ass fucking bottles. They had a vision, they had a dream. I don't even think they dreamed of what they were doing now. You know, they just were like, we want to make money off of this. And then here they are now. They're in huge retailers. They're like everywhere. Like fucking Kylie Jenner uses a Hydro Jug, for God's sake. Like, hello, that's so cool. I would shit if I was like the CEO. So very amazing, very cool, well-deserved. Like I love it. So it launches tomorrow, the 8th at 12 p.m. EST is when the birthday sale starts. You cannot use my code, but you can use my link. Okay, I'll put my link below. It's always in my link in my bio. I usually try to link it to like in my highlights or during launches. So it's probably on my Instagram, stuff like that. But support me if you can. I appreciate it. It's stuff like this where it does suck because we can only make commission if you guys use our links. So even if you've supported me for 10 years and you bought so much, if you don't use my link this time, I don't get any credit, and that kind of blows. So please use my link if you can. Send it to your fams, okay? But yeah, that's all for launches. And you know what else is underrated? I was having a conversation about this with my friend the other day. Wyatt made fun of me a couple years ago. I would say a couple, but shit, it's almost like 9 years ago now. We've been together 10 years this year. This is me and Wyatt's 10-year anniversary, so to speak, of like dating. You know, we'll be married 6, but we're together 10. And when we first started dating, his parents would fly me everywhere with them. They had a lot of airplane points, and they always took me to like games, like football games for Wyatt. We went on a few trips all together. It was so fun. And during this time, it was like the first time I was really traveling. Like I didn't travel a lot, you know, as a kid. And so going with them, we would go to these hotels. And of course, what do you find at every hotel breakfast? Bananas. Okay. I love bananas personally. I mean, justice for bananas. They're such a perfect fruit. They're the only fruit that you can touch everywhere on the outside and it's still clean on the inside. Like, mwah, chef's fucking kiss, right? So they had a bunch of bananas during this time. I was like hardcore dieting. So bananas were like so easy for me to eat. I would take like bundles of bananas. I mean, bundles. I was like stealing these bananas from this hotel. And Wyatt's dad was like making fun of me so hard about how I had bundles of bananas like underneath my blanket and in my backpack. It was so funny. Anyways, so we were kind of rehashing that. My friend texts our group chat. She was traveling this week and she goes, you know what? I have to say, when I was like going to the airport today, guess what I grabbed? A banana. Like, and she was like, I stand with Des's vibes on bananas. And so I replied back and I was like, exactly, like justice for bananas. Like bananas deserve a little bit more respect in our life. And she was like, no, you're so right. I said, bananas are always here for us. Like concession stands, bananas. Hotels, bananas. On the run, grab a banana. At a gas station, always a banana. Like anywhere you go, bananas are there for us. And I think we just need to really reevaluate the way that we're treating fruit, because banana oftentimes gets really shoved down, just down to the bottom of the totem pole of like the worst fruits. You know, oh, they get mushy. They're only ripe for a couple, you know, perfect days, whatever. But when they're ripe, they're always right. You know, so I think instead of bananas being like low end of the totem pole, I think we really need to like have an actual use of our brain and realize, holy fuck, bananas like are that bitch. And we need to bring bananas all the way up to the top of the tiered list. Like there is just, when in doubt, banana out. Like every good smoothie you've ever had, what's fucking in it? A fucking banana. Okay. Like bananas are the base foundation for everything in fruit. Like in foods, like banana bread. You ever had it? Fucking good. Strawberry banana, also amazing. Peach and banana, also amazing. Blueberry and banana, great mix. Apples and bananas, hello. I like to eat apples and bananas. It's everywhere. So I just had to share that little tidbit today, that little bit of justice, shall I call it, that bananas deserve more. And this is when I wish I had someone sitting with me so that they could piggyback off me and say, Des, you're so right. But instead, I'm looking at a blank seat where my sister once sat, and I have no one to tell me that I'm in the right. So if you're listening to this right now, comment on Spotify. You can comment on like the episode, comment on YouTube, like email me, DM me, message me on Brunch with Desb. Like tell me bananas deserve more respect, like please, because now I feel embarrassed that I just rambled on about bananas. But I fucking love bananas. I always have loved bananas. I stand with bananas. And I'll leave it at that. So you might be asking yourself, well, Des, what was the point of this episode? And the answer is, you know what, babe? There doesn't always have to be a point. Sometimes it's just about bananas. No, but seriously, I do want to get better about having some like staple conversations again. I think, you know, back when my podcast was like popping, you know, well, not only did more people see my stuff on social media, which naturally relates to like seeing more of my podcast, but also I did talk like topics, you know. So one thing I want to get into in 2025, again, is getting an array of topics that I want to talk about. Because when I have like something that I want to talk about, like a specific niche thing, so to speak, I can talk about that thing and I will talk it up and down. Okay. So in terms of topics of the year, feel free to drop something below, again, in my DMs on the YouTube, like staple topics that I can kind of expand about. But one thing I did want to touch on that I talked about, this might have been a year ago, maybe less. I talked about Extreme Makeover Home Edition. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. I talk about BetterHelp a lot, seeing as that it's benefited me in the past 2 years. Some people think, you know, maybe, things have to get really bad until you can go to therapy. You're like, I'm not depressed. Why do I need therapy? But really, therapy is a tool to where you're using it before things were to get worse and to avoid being at your lowest low. I don't know about you, but why the fuck would you want to get to your lowest low before you climb out to the top again, right? BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video and even live chat sessions with your therapist. You don't have to see anyone on your camera. You don't have to wear pants. You don't even have to put on pajamas. You could be naked wherever you're at and do a therapy session with your therapist. So for me personally, I like to put my AirPods in. I'll walk around my desk room. I'll go for a walk outside when it's nice out, whatever it may be. And that's what works for me. It is customizable and it is more affordable than most in-person therapy. Give it a try. See why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. And girls, don't forget to get on BetterHelp.com/DESB and put in that discount code. If you forget that, you do not get that 10% off your first month. And that is the deal with being a listener of Brunch with Desb. You guys remember that fucking douchebag, Ty Pennington? He wasn't necessarily a douchebag. He was just like crazy. I swear this guy he was letting it snow all fucking day. Okay, if you know what I'm saying. And if you guys don't know what snow is, that's typically what they call Coke. It's cocaine, okay? Not Diet Coke, not Pepsi. I'm talking like cocaine, the drug. So Extreme Makeover Home Edition is fucking back, baby. It's back, dude. When I saw this, it said debuting or, returning. I was like, what in the freaking fuck? Because I just talked about Ty Pennington being like canceled and why Extreme Makeover Home Edition was so terrible. Because if you didn't know this, and I'll kind of like recap what this episode was about. They would take these families, okay, they would take them away for like, call it, I think it was like about a week, right? They would evacuate them from their home. They would throw like all their shit away. They would just be like, fuck it. We're fucking throwing all your shit away. They would demo their home. Like Ty Pennington would literally be like, hey family, check this out. And like, there's a fucking wrecking ball going into their home of memories, a home where maybe they lost their father or something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, check this out. Check what we're doing today. And I mean, mind you, he's just like, what's up, guys? What's up? So fucking chaotic. And I ate it up. Like I ate it up. I love that show. So the family's like in Disney World, probably trying not to cry, watching their house getting demoed. They would then renovate this huge house on that same lot, on that same property. And they would renovate this house into something, usually monstrous, ginormous, amazing, elaborate, so customized, it's crazy. So like there'd be kids with like fucking basketball courts in their bedroom. Like, how are you going to get your kid to sleep? There was one bedroom with like a jacuzzi in it. So all of a sudden you got to take care of a jacuzzi, a hot tub in your fucking room. All of these extra things that would cost extra money. So here you go, have this free house. Okay. Now you got to pay for higher electric bill. You got to all of a sudden take care of a hot tub. You got to pay maintenance to a fucking basketball court. Your home taxes, your taxes for your land just shot up 10 fucking grand a year. So these are people that are already struggling financially that now have to take on more financials due to this new house that they were supposed to get also for free. Okay. So that's like the TLDR. That's like a shortened version of the backstory that I did. There's great YouTube videos about it. I encourage you to do it. So anyways, Extreme Makeover Edition returning. I'm like, okay, but hold on. How are they going to make this better? Because we all know what happened before. Well, if you've never heard of the Home Edit, they are a group of two girls. I'm kind of blanking on their name right now. Yep, still blanking on their name right now. They're two girls. They have this multi-million-dollar company called Home Edit. And what they like to do is like, they're very organization-based. You check them out for real. Like you will get so much inspiration. I bet you that you walk into their house, I bet you they have their sex toys organized. I bet you they have their underwear for the week laid out. Like these are those girls that would do that. And so they come in, they're like, hey family, let's go. We're going to take you away for 3 days. I believe it was only 3 days. Might have been 5. It might have been 5 days. They take them away. They didn't go on some elaborate vacation. They didn't do anything crazy. Like they just took them away. I don't know what happened to the original house. They did not bulldoze or demo anything. Okay, so that original house is still there. But they took a new lot. It obviously probably was within drivable range. Again, they don't want to like uproot these families, right? So I'm assuming it's in a new development. They build this new house from scratch. It's a beautiful home. Do not get me wrong, but there's no like customization to it where like you would be like, oh my God, I can't resell this, right? That's kind of like the deal. So it's this beautiful home they renovate. While they're going through this 5-day process, they are also getting all of the family shit out. They put it in these like zones, and then they tell them to like organize and go through it all, which I thought was really cool. So like every zone was a room in the house. And so like the family members would go through their stuff. Okay, keep this, donate that, keep that, trash that, donate that, keep it, whatever. In this case, the woman's husband had died. So sad. And so she had to finally kind of go through his stuff, which was emotional to watch because you're kind of putting, and now this girl, she signed up for this. She knew this was going to happen, but she was kind of put into this spot where she had to make these decisions right away about her husband's things, you know, and it was just very sad. And it like literally made me it just wrecked me. But regardless, they got through it, and then they got into this new house, moved that bus, you know, the typical line. Boom, here's their new house. They're crying. It's amazing. They show them the new places in. Again, it's all very logistic. Is that the word? It makes sense. Like this new home makes sense for this family. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. So a few different feedbacks on what that then was, which by the way, you can watch it on Hulu, like next day. So I watched it live as it premiered, but you can watch it on Hulu. So a few different takeaways of what I thought. Number one, it felt extremely rushed. Like I feel like the episode, I think it was, call it an hour. It should have been like an hour and a half. Like I feel like they added in more things to do, like the whole zoning, and they went through all the home and they're trying to capture the story of the family, where I feel like like everything else was just so fast because they added in more of those elements. And then like, I feel like we didn't get to see a lot of the house, which is fine, I think too, for like privacy reasons. But regardless, like I was just like, you know, okay, whatever it is, it looks beautiful. I'm happy for them. So it felt a little rushed. Overall, good. I want to know what happens to their original home, because again, this is a home where they shared their family. And I think as much as like, if you had someone in your family pass, I can't imagine the clause that you would have in the house that they lived in. Do you know what I mean? Like in that home that their scent still lingers in, and that home that you remember seeing them walk through the door, the home where you remember them dancing with the kids in front of you. Like I feel like the attachment would be so real. And so I'm curious what they do with that other home, if they allow the family to make a choice with it, if they allow the family to keep it, if they possess it now as Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Like, I'm just curious what happens. Because again, they built on a completely different property. But I just had to give you guys that big update on Extreme Makeover Home Edition if you have not yet watched, just because I had such an in-depth conversation about it, you know, like I said, a couple months back, where it was like very jarring to me of what Extreme Makeover Home Edition was. Like why it was, although it was so successful back then, why it was so fucking terrible. And by the way, going back to piggyback off of the old Extreme Makeover, the reason why it sucked too is all these houses were so customized, most of them could not be resold. So like people would come in and say this house is valued at $800,000. No one wants to pay $800,000 in it for it because it has a fucking random basketball court in a bedroom. It has a hot tub in a bedroom. Like no one wants that. And it would cost so much money to like remove stuff like that. So some of those homes to this day just have sat or have sold for like such a loss, which, you know, for most of these people, you still walk out of it, quote, making money, right? Because like you sold this house that you didn't have to buy, you know, I get that, but like, it's still not fair. You know, you get the point. So anyways, that was number one. The next thing I just wanted to touch on was the Golden Globes was this past week. I don't want to dive in too much on like who won, who lost. Like, I don't give a fuck, but let me just tell you how much I love Nikki Glaser. Like, if you do not love her as a comedian, I don't love you. Listen here, if you don't like comedy, I also don't like you. Like, if you cannot allow comedians to do their job and have a little hee hee hoo hoo, then you're the fucking problem. You're soft. Go take a nap. Wake up on the better side of the bed. Like, for real. I love comedy. I love what it allows us to do. The teetering of, is this too much? Is this enough? I think is so amazing to see people be good at, you know? And so Nikki Glaser, I think she just does such a good job having this like balancing act of like, not only is she so funny, she's fucking hot. Like, she's hot. And so she's this hot woman in comedy, finally having her like rise to fame. And she's been doing this so long. And I think it's such a reminder that no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, sometimes you have to just go and go and go and go. And then all of a sudden you get the biggest break of your life right when you think you never would. And you're 40 years old, you know, or like, I don't know how old Nikki Glaser is, but Wyatt, do you know how old Nikki Glaser is? Is she in her 30s or is she 40? Okay. Okay. So anyway, she's been sitting here for, you know, however long she's been doing comedy, probably for fucking ever, because she's literally that funny. She's almost hitting her 40s, finally getting this like just these crazy opportunities, and she's been doing it so long. And so it's really cool, but she fucking crushed the Golden Globes. Like, it was so funny. She went on the Howard Stern show, and I only watched clips. I'm not like a fucking Howard Stern stan, okay? But she went on and she delivered some of like the monologue that she was going to say, but that they were like, oh, you can't do that, you know, whatever. And I think she said something along the lines of like, welcome to the Golden Globes. One of the last times you guys will all be in the room together until the Diddy trial or something like that. Like, it was so fucking unhinged. She also said like the Golden Globes, Ozempic's biggest night out or something. She was just, I mean, she roasted so many fucking people in the audience, and she was just so real about it, which also shows me she has not been hit by the Beyonce curse yet. She is not an Illuminati. She has not sold her soul yet. She's still our Nikki. I loved it. The Golden Globes, it was fun to watch. The monologue was awesome. I feel like too, seeing a lot of people who won awards was really cool. I love the Golden Globes personally. Like, I think the Golden Globes and the Met Gala are really fun to kind of like watch and, you know, see what's going on. But Demi Moore, wow, is she hot? Wow, is she hot? Like, holy shit. I mean, I don't care, you know, oh, she's had a lot of work done. She's a First off, I think she still looks pretty similar to where she did in her younger age. Like, I think she's beautiful. Has she had maybe some skincare, some lifts, some whatever, filler, Botox? Sure. No fucking shit. Okay, they're Hollywood. You guys would be calling her so fucking ugly and be roasting her if she didn't look the way she did too. So like, she can't win. Let her be hot. So she looks sexy. Like, literally, she's my new inspiration for growing older. Like, she just looks awesome. She looks fabulous. I feel like she's aging with grace too. Like, you can tell she's not trying to be a 20-year-old woman. Like, she is just like looking so stunning at the age that she's at. And like, it's awesome. I love it. So anyways, she won her first award, her first Golden Globe ever. And she delivered the most amazing fucking speech. You know, if you did not hear this, I'm literally going to pull it up for you right now, because I think this is something we all need to fucking hear, and we all need to remember our power, and not let anyone take that away from us, not let anyone tell us what we are or are not going to be. This is such a powerful speech. So like I said, she won her first award, and I just want to share what her statement was. Hold on, let me find it. Oh, hold on. Here's a clip from Nikki.
You know what? I may not have won tonight, but on the bright side, I just made $11,000 betting on Ali Wong on a European gambling site. So you lose some, you win some.
Dude, she's so funny. Okay, also, by the way, Baby Reindeer won, which is super cool. Full circle for him. I just had to like throw that out there. If you guys have never watched the Baby Reindeer series on Netflix, that was a crazy one for this year. All right, here is Demi Moore's speech. You have to listen to this shit.
I'm just in shock right now. I've been doing this a long time.
She's so hot.
Over 45 years. And this is the first time I've ever won anything as an actor. And I'm just so humbled and so grateful. 30 years ago, I had a producer tell me that I was a popcorn actress. And at that time, I made that mean that this wasn't something that I was allowed to have, that I could do movies that were successful, that made a lot of money, but that I couldn't be acknowledged. And I bought in, and I believed that. And that corroded me over time to the point where I thought a few years ago that maybe this was it. Maybe I was complete. Maybe I've done what I was supposed to do. And as I was at kind of a low point, I had this magical, bold, courageous out of the box, absolutely bonkers script come across my desk called The Substance. And the universe told me that you're not done. And I am so grateful to Corley for trusting me to step in and play this woman, for Margaret for being the other half of me that I couldn't have done without, for looking out for me, to the people who've been with me. I really was.
So anyways, she goes on to then say, man, I wish I had the quote. Oh, okay. She basically says at some point, just know you will never be enough, but you can know the value of your worth if you just put down the measuring stick. And I was like, God damn. So anyways, it was just a beautiful thing. And again, this is Demi Moore. The Demi Moore, who, like she said, has been doing acting for 45 years, was just acknowledged for the first time, getting her first award after 45 years of acting. Countless of crazy roles. We all know the name Demi Moore, right? So I think when I saw that, and again, when I saw Nikki Glaser like be able to host this year's event and just getting all this recognition and from her roast of Tom Brady, like all these things, you never know when that time is for you. And I think sometimes we need to learn how to separate what that big break is going to be for us too. Like the big break that you might think you'll see for yourself, maybe that's not the big break of going viral. Maybe that's not a big break of mass copious amounts of money. Maybe it's not the big break of winning the lottery or something, right? But your big break looks different. It could be a different way that propels you forward in life. It could be a different way that you find gratitude and love and excitement. What is that for you? Okay, and keep your eyes open for it, because it could also be something that passes you and you're like, holy shit, I never realized that happened, or I never took it in when that happened. So if you're grinding right now, like trying to do something, you have a goal, you have a vision, you know, it feels heavy. It's oftentimes the heaviest journeys lead to the most beautiful outcomes, but also you can't forget to enjoy the journey for what it is. You know, like right now, like I think of myself, like where I want to be, what I want to continue to do. The minute I continue to have that forward thought and I have this vision of, you know, who I'm meant to be and what I feel in my soul I'm meant for, if I focus on solely that vision, I lose sight of my kids growing up. I lose sight of the current now. I lose sight of my young body. I lose sight of this part of Wyatt and I's marriage and our relationship and these milestones we have together. I lose sight of my mom growing older, my dad growing older, right? Like when you propel yourself so much on this like selfish part of your life, which is okay to be selfish sometimes, but like if you narrow in on that and make that your sole everything else around you blurs, right? Like even if you make this circle with your hand right now and you just focus on the circle, what do you see anywhere else? You know, nothing. It's just kind of blurry. It's kind of fuzzy. You can still make out the objects, but you're not paying attention to them. That's kind of when you get that tunnel vision where it can be negative, is you're focused so big on this big break, you forget all the small things along the way. You forget all the excitement along the way, the grind that you had and valuing yourself in the grind, things like that. Oddly, that ended up turning into a very poetic sharing of a story. But if you're in that right now, you know, as much as we want to say, oh, 2025 is my fucking year, like this is my fucking year, maybe it's not. Okay. Maybe it's not even your decade. Do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe you won't see the light of day as it feels until the 2030. You know, maybe you won't find your groove until then. Like even for me, I feel like I'm constantly like crawling, figuring out like what am I meant to do in the now? Because like my kids are so little. They preoccupy so much of my time. It's hard to make content. It's hard to record things. It's hard to be creative when I'm just like engulfed all the time in a lot of other tasks, right? And then I think of the other side of this. I think, oh my gosh, when the kids are in school, again, I don't want to wish this away. When the kids are in school, I'm going to have so much time. Like, who knows who I'm going to be then? Who knows what I'm going to be sharing and what I'm going to be able to experience and the type of person I'm going to be welcoming in my 30s and beyond. So, where you're at now, value it. Put your foot in the sand, be where your feet are, be like, holy fuck, look at all these beautiful things around me. But also welcome in whatever is to also come. And not what's to come in just 1 year. What's going to come in 5? What's going to come in 10? Oh, shit, what could come in 20? I mean, I think 20 years from now, I'm going to be in almost 50, right? Like that's how, let's see. How old is Demi Moore? She is 62 years old. She is 62 years old. I just told myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to be inching to 50. She is 62 fucking years old and just got her first recognition. She just had a huge role in this movie Substance in the past year, like at 62 years old. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do not discredit where you're at now, but also know how much there is to look forward to, And I want to leave you with that because it's really hard to just grind without the affirmation, like you're doing what you're meant to do, like good job. Don't you just wish like God, the universe, whoever you talk to would come down and be like, hey, you're where you're supposed to be. Just keep going. I promise. Like if we just got that, it'd be easier. And maybe that's where religion people, astrologists, maybe that's where we would say, hey, God. Okay, I wasn't struck by lightning. Fuck, I was scared if I said, hey, I was scared if I said, hey, God, he would like strike me. Hey, God, can you show me a sign? Maybe that's where we say something like that. We say, hey, God, hey, universe, hey, Buddha, hey, Allah. I don't know, whatever. Can you show me a sign? Maybe that's where we have to invite that into our world and say, hey, show me a sign that I'm on the pathway I need to be on. But all I can say to you, and I'm getting like intimate for this because like I want someone to say this to me too. And I want to listen back to my podcast and I want to hear myself saying it to myself. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. You never know who's watching. You never know what could happen in a day. You never know that one video you posted. That was the fucking one that changed it all. You never know the job promotion you'll get. You never know if your boss is watching you, how you're reacting in the office. You never know if it's that one call. You never know if it's that one elevator ride, that one plane ride. You're right next to someone who could change your life. You never know. So keep buying lottery tickets. Just kidding. I'm sorry. You just never know. Keep showing up. I know it feels hard. It's already the beginning of the year. You're like, oh my God, this is where we get to, okay? This coming Friday, it's Quitter's Day. The second Friday of the month, first month of January is Quitter's Day. Don't be the person that quits already. Don't let this year end up like last year again. Don't let your mind go to the place of, God, it's gonna be just another fucking year like this. Don't even let yourself entertain that. Welcome in optimism every day. You have to actively choose to do that. You cannot always wake up and just be like, fuck yeah, everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome. Sorry, it's a Lego movie, but it's not everyone wakes up like that. I guarantee you, even on Kylie Jenner's worst days, she still wakes up like a fucking gremlin feeling like fuck this day. Okay. You have to wake up and choose to live in the way of seeing life through rose-colored glasses, being a realist, okay, but also seeing the positivity, seeing the good things that are happening to you. The minute you focus on the bad, the minute you focus on the things that'll piss you off or whatever, the minute it gets hard, keep showing up. You know how many times I've wanted to quit this fucking podcast because nothing comes of it? Who's to say nothing is to come of it, right? Keep fucking showing up. I'm going to keep showing up. You keep showing up. You never, ever know, okay? So take that last story, run with it. I am going to end there because I just lifted up my blanket and realized I've been talking for 50 minutes. I hope that this is comforting for you. I hope that the trajectory of this episode actually ended up being like pretty fucking exciting, okay? Don't quit, start. Don't quit, keep going. Don't quit, cry about it, bitch about it, complain about it. Don't quit. You never know what's on that other side. You never know. And sometimes it's that It's the possibilities of maybes that really do just like keep us going. We're waiting for that one day. Oh, maybe it's today. Maybe it's today. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's this year. Maybe it's next year. Maybe it never comes. But it keeps you showing up every day with the same passion you have for whatever you do, okay? It's not always going to be easy. Not every post is going to pop off. Not every job promotion is going to be yours. Not every big sales call is going to be the one that you get, okay? But the more you show up, those chances go up, you know? So be cringy this year. Be cringy today, because you never know what that holds tomorrow, what it holds next year, whatever it may be. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that. Sit on that. Fucking let that marinate, bitch. Bitch, you know I'm sexy. Don't call, just text me. Period, bitch. Okay, love you guys. Cheers. Cheers to the new year. Cheers to not being fucking quitters, because we're not pussies. You are not a pussy. You're not a quitter. Say it right now. I am not a pussy. I am not a quitter. And let that be your mantra for the week. Mwah. Love you. See you next week.